and it was just a good opener, and it was the right choice to open the show. It looked strong coming out of it. It's pretty smart booking there. I kind of like, man, he had too many distraction finishes in this show. Standing up for most of it and getting involved. I'm like, it's fine, but I just think one bump, when you got 2 or 3 you got ref bumps, it's too much. And hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart Van and welcome to my review of WWE Backlash in St. Louis with this 5-match card. Obviously a lot to talk about. Obviously the big match they always talk about for this pay-per-view is John Cena versus Randy Orton for one last time for that WWE Championship. Obviously we had a fatal 4-way for the United States Championship. We had Lyra Valkyria taking on Becky Lynch, and we had obviously Dominik Mysterio going against Penta, and Gunther going against Pat McAfee, and many more stuff to talk about. But yes, if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, please like and subscribe. But yeah, let's dive straight into talking about Backlash, and let's talk about the first match on the card, fatal 4-way match for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Can't wait to talk about this one. Let's talk about the fatal 4-way match for the United States Championship. Obviously, as we said, Jacob Fatu defending his title against LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre in a very good choice as an opening match, because obviously WWE are very good at this when it comes to triple threats, fatal 4-ways. They know how to structure it in a way that kind of makes it really entertaining and fun to watch. This was a very good match. I really enjoyed this opening match. Obviously a lot of was it everyone having their moments as you expect, a lot of back and forth. Obviously I kind of think everybody else got their chance, and also Jacob Fatu was kind of not involved until later on. But obviously one of the big moments of it was probably the bit where Drew McIntyre hit that claymore on Damian Priest, and obviously he fell onto LA Knight and almost cost Drew McIntyre the match. But obviously Damian Priest kind of cost him by putting the ref out when he heard the claymore on LA Knight again, and keep screwing Damian Priest. So that's an interesting one. But yes, this match is kind of gonna be remembered for Damian Priest doing that kind of south of heaven slam off the crate onto the table and into the audience on the outside. That was a great little moment, and it was really cool. And obviously it's going to be known for Jeff Cobb joined WWE. He seems to be aligned himself with Solo Sikoa. He seems to be able to really good at recruiting people, I've noticed, Solo Sikoa. But yes, obviously he got involved attacking LA Knight, the last 2 in the ring, obviously putting him through the announce table, all that kind of lovely stuff, and obviously put him back into the ring. And I like the kind of Fatu was looking confused, like he didn't consult him with this. And obviously because Solo was kind of doing that situation where he's feeling like, well, you're successful because of me trying to get involved in this situation, when we all know that Jacob Fatu is amazing and he doesn't need any help. But he looks confused, but he did take advantage of it, hit the moonsault on LA Knight to retain his United States Championship. But it's going to be interesting what they do with this. Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, and obviously Jeff Cobbs is now in WWE. It's interesting. I mean, yet again, it's one of these matches that need to be an interference. I mean, I like the idea of maybe like he got involved after the match. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking a bit. I mean, it's a cool moment. I mean, it's just good to see Jeff Cobbs in WWE. I mean, the idea I've watched him, how amazing he was in New Japan. So it's great to see he's finally found his way to WWE. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with him. But awesome stuff here. I think it was just really good opening contest, interesting stuff. You know, it's not exactly like match of the year or anything like that, but it's just fun, and it was just a good opener, and it was the right choice to open the show to get people, get people going. Because obviously, fatal 4-way matches, obviously no DQ as well, so you could do all kinds of shenanigans and crazy stuff as he did in this match. So, but yeah, good show. I liked it. Good up match, I mean, and I think it was a good way to open the show. So that's obviously now talk about the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Obviously, Lyra Valkyria going against Becky Lynch for that title. And it's interesting match to talk about, so let's go and talk about it. So let's talk about the Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, if I pronounced that correctly, for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, this is kind of the match built up with the kind of Becky Lynch turning heel on the night after WrestleMania, in a thing where they won the tag titles and then they lost them and turned on her. Wouldn't have been how I book it, but that's where we are. But with obviously the shaky start, I've really enjoyed the build up to this match, to be honest. It's done exactly what it probably was supposed to. Obviously, Becky Lynch has obviously got like motivations, a bit sketchy, but heel motivations never really make sense. But obviously, Lyra kind of I like her promos, really like up in her game because she's going against Becky, and it's really got the crowd behind her, and I think and this match has definitely enhanced everyone's kind of love and kind of this Lyra Valkyria is she's really good, and I see her she's got big things ahead of her if she continues to perform in this way. But it's a really good match here. I think it was a slow pace at the start. I like the idea that basically Lyra kind of had Becky's number and Becky just couldn't get the momentum going. But when she did, obviously she tried everything in the book to try and beat her. I kind of like her. She hit kind of a man out of slam, I think one or two times. She kicked out. I kind of like the exposed turnbuckle, that kind of stuff. Obviously trying to use that, but obviously that didn't work. And and obviously we even got near the end, obviously got Lyra trying to hit her, a finisher, and obviously near fall there. But I like the idea that it kind of ended with a kind of back and forth kind of pinfall, and obviously Lyra got the win just by you do a pin. It was kind of a package type thing. I can't really describe it very well, but yeah, it was really, I liked the finish, and I kind of liked obviously it was a good book. As a person that really likes booking wrestling matches as a hobby, but I liked the booking here. It was really good. I liked the idea that basically Lyra got a win so she doesn't lose momentum, but Becky attacking her straight after the match and getting her heat so everyone wins, so everyone looks strong coming out of it. It's pretty smart booking there. I kind of like that. And I think I like the idea that this is going to be a feud for a little while. Do I see? I've got a feeling that Becky's going to win that title at some point. Because obviously she's 2-0 against Lyra now, obviously with losing in NXT for that championship maybe a year ago, I think it was, a while back. But I've really enjoyed this match. I mean, obviously it's not, I think if it was as a structured match, what it was supposed to do was put Lyra over. It's supposed to put show people Becky is she's definitely one of those people that is there to kind of enhance the talent and obviously trying to help get people over. And matches like this and how she's doing at the moment proves that she has that ability, probably a bit more than obviously as a lot of people say about Charlotte did with Tiffany Stratton, basically. But yeah, it's interesting. But I really enjoy this match. I really do. I can't see more of this, to be honest. But yeah, so intrigued to see what they do with this match. And so obviously we talked about the women's in the Continental Championship. Now let's talk about the men's with Dirty Dominik Mysterio defending his title against Penta. Interesting match to talk about, so let's go. Let's talk about the Intercontinental Championship match with Dominik Mysterio's first, but probably second title defense, first on pay-per-view against Penta that he's always faced before. And I'm mildly, starting to be really impressed by Dominik Mysterio's ability in the ring. Never denied that he was good in the ring, but in this match he put in some really cool stuff. I mean, obviously the big thing was that thing where he done the dive on the outside, was it hitting it just basically like a dive tornado DDT without the kind of bouncing off the ropes type thing. It was just a really cool spot. I think I've really been impressed by him, to be fair. Maybe he's kind of he's hit stride, but obviously maybe now he's been a distracted player for a while. He's not really been a guy that kind of in-ring ability. I mean, he's good, but he's never been really good. So intrigued to see who has been Intercontinental Champion, as we all know, as people like it, as the workhorse title. Be interesting to see what they do with him. But yeah, against Penta, that's obviously, we all know about what he's done, his exploits, how good of a wrestler he is. And the idea just was that Dominik looked good in this match. I like it. I think it was just I liked, obviously, you had the cool spot, obviously, with we talked about DDT. We also had that really cool spot, obviously, Dominik hit the, Oblivion. Obviously, Liv Morgan's obviously finisher. Obviously, she's not going to be away for doing a movie, but nice little homage there. Obviously, the big bit where Penta hit the Canadian Destroyer on the apron. Again, we've seen it what fan stands for, but it's still a cool spot. I mean, it was going well, this match, but as there seems to be a pattern in this show, shenanigans happened. I mean, I think only one match was it in this card that didn't have some sort of interference at the end. involved in the match, and that was obviously the match we just talked about. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool story, I guess. Obviously, you had Judgment Day came down, trying to distract Penta, so obviously Dominik can get the win. Obviously, there was a situation where Finn Balor was gonna, go after Penta, but he's like, no, I'll get a chair. And the time he came back, the ref saw it, so basically Finn Balor screwed up. Obviously, get them out of the ring, and obviously, Dominik Mysterio trying to take advantage, but obviously Penta was able to get back. But again, just when you think, okay, that's over, you've got El Golade and Melicana coming out, and obviously using that kind of plate in his mask that he just headbutt Penta off the top rope. I think he's going to hit one of his big the top rope moves. Hits him around the head, headbutts him. He goes on the floor, and obviously Dominik hits the kind of his frog splash for the win, and obviously Dominik gets the win. So I'm intrigued to see whether they're going to extend the kind of idea with the Finn Balor stuff. Obviously, I haven't watched Raw yet, so I'm assuming they would be kind of slow burn on the idea of Finn turning on Dominik Mysterio, or they turn on him, basically, because obviously at the moment he's screwing up, he's making mistakes, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm guessing sort of there has been rumors going around. Obviously, people have heard of. Obviously, we got Penta and maybe Rey Fenix maybe getting back together quite early, going against kind of American Made maybe, or maybe just doing a Penta versus El Guardia Americano. Obviously, he's going after all the luchadors. So it's intriguing to see where they go with this. But it's been predicted this kind of way it's going to go. But yeah, I like this match. Obviously, it's nothing groundbreaking. I would have loved to they did play to the world too much with distractions, finishes in this pay-per-view. But yeah, obviously Dom gets the win. Obviously he's never going to lose title when he's first, just won it, made a big deal about it, he loses it. And obviously I like the idea that maybe Penta versus Aguayo Americano or Chad Gable. Let's be honest, let's not beat around the bush here. Yeah, it's Chad Gable. Should be an interesting match. So sets up some cool stuff. Again, structurally it works, but I'm just watching this match made me realise, and obviously I thought, thinking about it back, man, they had too many distraction finishes in this show. So many. Anyway, let's talk about a match that I've got a lot of things to say about, good or bad. I've got a lot of things to say about it. Obviously, we'll talk about the only match that wasn't a title match, was obviously a single match between Gunther and Pat McAfee. A lot of things to say about this, so yeah, let's dive straight into it. Talk about Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I've got so much to say about this match. I don't know. The idea that basically how the storyline goes, that the idea that Gunther, I thought, basically, you don't want to say a killer, but basically a guy that's like a master of his craft in the ring, going against a celebrity that has proved he's got ability in the ring. I'll give him that. He's looked quite good in most of the matches he's been in that I've seen, so I'll give him credit there. But going against Gunther, I don't see the point of where this story. Why, you always why when it's where the story was going to go, because obviously the situation, talking about, Gunther was not happy because he lost how he lost the world title to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, and it was kind of the idea that basically someone says bad and he kind of loses it and he kind of chokes out Marco Cole, and then obviously Pat McAfee and chokes him out, and kind of storyline saying we should be free to say so it's like a freedom of speech kind of thing. I mean, okay. I mean, if you wanted a situation where Gunther gets annoyed by who he, it's people going after saying you tapped out, really getting annoyed by him. I would have personally just got someone that's up and coming and just destroys him. If you want to build him back up again, as Peyton Manning, this guy is he's sensitive to people saying you tapped out and he lost the world title at WrestleMania. Maybe that might be the situation. That's how I would have booked it. But yeah, I mean, it was the problem back by Pat was, I give him that, it's pretty good as well, and obviously Gunther saying he's going to maul you, going to destroy you, was pretty cool. So, but I have to admit, watching for this match, it was just I'm just sitting there watching, why is this match taking too long? It's I don't know how long it was probably way longer than it should have been. Pat McAfee was more into this match than I would have booked him. Maybe after moments of coming back, but it was like a slow pace and took way too long. And the idea that basically you got, was it Michael Cole kind of being the biased kind of commentator saying, yeah, he wants him, standing up for most of it and getting involved. I'm like, what is this? What are you watching? I mean, you could say entertaining. Obviously, people kind of mildly enjoyed it. it's weighted on it should have been. I don't know. It's just the idea, like obviously Mark Carson storylines, it always feels a bit off, as we all know. Past traumas for when he was a heel and had that horrible match with Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler in, was it Kiss My Feet match? Weird times. Yeah, but I mean the match ended with obviously hitting that Kuba clutch, kind of like choked him out. Pat, was got unconscious. He get the win, but obviously Pat McAfee got Gunther's respect, I guess. But I don't know. It's like, and obviously he did get a crowd reaction, I guess. But I just feel if you want, I get it. Pat McAfee wants to get respect. I just against Gunther. I mean, Gunther could have done. I mean, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. But I was watching this match. I was watching it. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not buying it. This match should have been booked differently. I wouldn't have booked it that way. But I'm not Triple H, so what do I know? But yeah, I mean, no, it's fine. Obviously, it would have been different if Pat got the win. But there was no doubt Gunther's winning this match. It was winning this match. It's never going to be a thing where Pat had his moments, but it was fine. But I don't know. Just something didn't feel right about this match. But whatever. But yes, obviously. Hopefully Gunther goes. I mean, what I've seen, he's going against. Looks like he's going after Jey Uso again. So maybe he's like, this was just a stopgap before Saturday Night Main Event. Saturday Night Main Event, yeah. Obviously that's coming at the end of the month, so that'd be cool. So maybe they're setting up that thing where basically it's like it was a, gateway match before that. Right, okay, whatever. But could have so many other people they could use. But it's over. Gunther got the win, so it's fine. So it's not the end of the world. But just didn't feel right this match. But anyway, let's talk about what everyone's going to remember this match, this pay-per-view for, and kind of what everyone was talking about was the obviously main event for the WWE Undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena, Randy Orton, one last time. Ooh, a lot to talk about and unpack in this match. So let's go. Here we are, the main event of Backlash and the match that everyone's going to be talking about. John Cena, Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE Championship. And, I mean, this is the kind of build that a lot of it's just been basically John Cena talking, heel promos and basically Randy Orton. They had 1-2 bound force, basically Randy Orton hitting RKOs out of nowhere. I kind of like the one when he first done it when Johnson went, oh shit, like get the mic. That was funny. But it's pretty much what the storyline is. Big Up is the last time they're ever going to face each other. And, I mean, I've got to be honest, it's not that's the biggest rivalry as well. It's not his. I mean, I would say quality-wise, I would say, yes, he's had the most matches. But I would probably say probably CM Punk's probably a better rivalry. Edge probably is a bit more kind of counterbalance to what they are type situation. Maybe a better feud. I mean, everyone, they're the two at the top of my head that I can think of that really I think were better than Randy Orton, just by quality anyway. But that's an opinion. But they made it up as like a legendary kind of feud. It's never been a thing, really. They've bigged that up more than it is. But whatever. It's last match, so it's not be around the bush with that one. But yes, obviously this match, it was actually really good. I mean, it was a slow pace. You got two guys that obviously John Cena's doing it on purpose because he's a heel. So he's trying to trying to ruin wrestling, so he's trying to slow it down. He's not doing the fast pace stuff he does. It's very slow, methodical. And that kind of worked sort of when obviously you got the fast pace of like, what was it, Cena was, and obviously Randy Orton, and that's his pace. But when they're both doing it, in theory it shouldn't really work, and it was working to a point. I mean, the crowd it wasn't a bad match. Basically, it was the usual big match you would expect. You had Randy Orton hitting an RKO out of nowhere. You've got John Cena moved out of the way. He hit you had a couple of spots where I think it was John Cena hit an AA near full. You had the stuff out on the outside where Randy Orton was hitting AAs for the announce table. Got a pin, got a tape from the outside, and then hit another one of them as well. It was just back and forth, obviously, kind of how you would book. But he had this really cool thing early on as well when he had keep hitting sleeper holds. You lock it in, counter. I lock it in, counter. I mean, that was cool. I mean, I think it just shows that know each other very, very well. But I like the idea, obviously, trying to go for the punt. Obviously, but will we ever see that? Probably not in WWE because obviously the whole thing. But yeah, but the problem with this match, I think, for me anyway, is that my God, they went too much. I get it. It's we can't complain too much. Attitude had so many of this shenanigans, ref bumps, people interfering. But my God, this match went overkill, man. We had, the ref went down, John Cena went for a title, Randy Orton hit the RKO out of nowhere. But then obviously no one was around, and then obviously another ref came in, got the pin. Then there was another ref bump from another ref. I think the ref was Randy Orton that done that, and obviously with the whole thing with AA through the tables and stuff. And then obviously the ref, I thought the same one for the first one. Just how confusing it is. Was it will get hit his head on the outside? Obviously now he's out. Usual referee shenanigans where even one hit, they're out for like 20 minutes. It's quite funny. It was getting ridiculous. Randy Orton, and then obviously the officials came out, and then Randy Orton was like, is it Nick Aldis yet again getting an RKO? There goes the fine again. All that kind of stuff, out RKing everyone. But yeah, I mean, this match is weird. The problem with this is they overbooked it. All they needed to do was basically, if you wanted to, with John Cena matches, if you want to be the heel and you kind of get shenanigans, you can do that. It's just they went too far with the ref bumps. I think too many. And obviously the ridiculousness of the idea that basically and then the officials come in there, you get stuff like this match went way longer than it should have. It should have been a bit, maybe 10 minutes shorter, but if they want to overbook it, it makes sense, I guess. But obviously how this match ended was obviously Randy was going to go for that kick to head. R-Truth out of nowhere, it kind of just turned up, and it was like, what are you doing? And obviously while obviously distraction of R-Truth was a low blow by John Cena, was it? And then obviously John Cena hit Randy Orton with the WWE Championship. It seems to be his MO at the moment. And then obviously gets the pin, gets the win. Obviously ref that was on the outside for 20 minutes, all of a sudden can miraculously get up and do the slow count and the pin. But I mean, yes, John Cena was always going to win this. He wasn't going to lose it after the big thing and win number 17. He's having that until the last match as far as it is. Who's that going to be? Obviously I've booked it before on a certain show where I put CM Punk, so I think that would just be I just want to see it, but it's probably going to be Cody. Makes sense, right? But yeah, I mean, it was fine, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was just, I think it was a good match. And then at the end, they kind of ruined it by overbooking it at the end. They kind of made it, too much. I mean, obviously, if you're in a crowd, you have ref bumps, you had, was it for people go for tables, shenanigans, it's fine. But I just think one bump, when you got 2 or 3 ref bumps, it's too much. But yeah, I mean, obviously there was single counters. Obviously, one thing I didn't mention, it was obviously that was it, AA into the RKO. But the one thing about with that was the crowd didn't react to it. It was really strange because obviously maybe it's because it didn't look like an RKO out of nowhere. So everyone's like, oh, they were surprised, weren't looking for it. But anyway, this match, yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, obviously, whatever your feelings towards this John Cena heel turn has been a bit. I think the problem with it is it's like the motive, as I said before, the motivations for it are not being made clear. It's like he said it's the fans and obviously turning on them, but it's like what the problem I have is obviously with The Rock getting involved, and obviously now he's not getting involved, as we said before, is that the motivations aren't there because what tempted him to turn? He's been able to resist it for so long now. Why? What was the turn? So I don't know. I think it does feel a bit overwhelming. Obviously he's done some cool stuff and all that, but it's just it's missing something, I think. Maybe it's just early on, we've got a year, so maybe but early on it's missing something. But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, interested with stuff. Was it R-Truth being involved? Obviously, that kind of came out now. He's been kind of his biggest fan, obviously. So, obviously, we set up in the kind of press conference. Obviously, John Cena, like I said, he can't wrestle, but R-Truth mouth always gets him in trouble. And got an AA through the table, so that sets up a match between I think R-Truth and John Cena for that WWE Championship. Okay, that's fine. I mean, obviously, again, maybe he's gone through a list of people he wants to face. It makes sense, and obviously, it'd be interesting to see was it R-Truth going against his hero and his childhood heel when they pretty much think he's older than John Cena, but play along with the joke. And so that's cool, I guess. But I don't know. This match is they overbooked the crap out of it, and sometimes that kind of works, but this one I don't know. It didn't work for me. Just didn't work for me. But anyway, that's wrap up this review. Let's go and put my overall thoughts. And let's go and put my final thoughts on WWE Backlash. What do I think of WWE Backlash? Obviously, we've gone through all 5 of the matches. What's my overall thought of this pay-per-view? I've got to be honest, it was fine. It was good. It was solid. I don't think it was anything crazy. As I said, the opening contest is probably really good. I mean, obviously, did it need that distraction at the end? Probably not, but It was a good opening contest. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, really good choice for first match. Lyra with Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, really good. I think that was like, I liked the storyline they're going with that. It's a very solid match, both putting on a really good kind of match there. I like the finish, and I kind of like the booking at the end with everyone kind of winning in that. It's kind of like that. Obviously, Dominik, Mysterio and Penta was again a good match, but again, it's the shenanigans thing at the end. It's like, you expect it, but they used it way too much in this show. Gunther versus Pat McAfee, again, if you look at it from structurally, it's fine, but I was just off-putting because it just didn't. It felt it was a bit, for me, it was a bit too longer than it should have been. The idea that Michael Cole getting involved in the match just doesn't make any sense to me, but it's fine. I mean, obviously Gunther won, so that's fine. So like, if there was any match I would take off and maybe not do it on this, I probably would have taken this match out and probably put something else. Wouldn't surprise me if they would, the Jey Uso versus Logan Paul probably would have been a better choice, but I know how that sounds. I know I don't like Logan Paul, but at least that would have been a title match and not this. But it's fine. Gunther got the win, so it's fine. And obviously the main event was all right into kind of the finish. Overbooking, went too far. I don't know, maybe it's because they're thinking because obviously too slow. They needed a big, put all these kind of spots because obviously we're not going to get like a wrestling clinic here. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the finish, to be honest. But overall, it was fine. It was a solid show. It's not like going to be in the top 5 shows of the year, and it done mostly what it needed to do when it comes to advance the stories. Probably what looks like what they're doing with the Saturday Night Main Event is that's where they're going to put the big matches on. So this was kind of a gateway kind of pay-per-view, and I did feel like it because obviously the matches they put on this card, and the idea didn't have even Seth Rollins, even CM Punk or any of like, I mean, not even the other Women's World Championship or any other title on there. Makes me think this was a gateway. Let them have their match here. Someone 1 or 2, and then obviously then they could have a month to build for the next pay-per-view. And then obviously with Saturday Main Event, the people that weren't on this one would be on that. I get it, but I don't know. It just feel like a gateway kind of pay-per-view. But it was solid. It was fine. It was not nothing, no harm, offense or anything. It was just mildly okay. It was fine. It was fine, and that's okay sometimes. But yeah, I mean, if I was going to give it a rating, probably give it 7 out of 10, maybe 6 if you wanted to be really critical. But I mean, there was good moments in there. 7 out of 10 probably would be a fair result. It was nothing, it's nothing amazing, but it was fine. It's good. Had some good moments. It wasn't long in the sense of like what it was. So it's nothing, losing any sleep over it. But yeah, 7 out of 10, fine pay-per-view. So yes, this is the end of my view of WWE Backlash. Hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Obviously, links will be in the bottom below. Obviously, I'll be back with more kind of. I've got a lot of big wrestling content planned. Obviously, if you've been checking them out, obviously, was it my good friend Angel Pena, kind of reviewing kind of the old NXT takeovers. I think next one is available is going to be Brooklyn, and it's takeover Brooklyn. So obviously, look out for that. And obviously, I do plan to do many other wrestling content videos. So look out for that as well. So, but yes, obviously, hope you enjoyed this review. I've been Stu Irvine, and yeah, have a good rest of your day, everyone. So, bye.